Strike a Chord podcast. Music chit chat with your hosts Valentino and Amla Periakaba.
Hey everyone, welcome to Strike a Chord, episode 41. The last episode, 42. This is our, thank you for that.
That's all right.
This is the last podcast for the year.
Last podcast for the year. Jeez.
Yeah.
What a year.
What a year. I can't even remember most of it.
I know, so fast. I think we've done quite well this year.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
It's been a good year.
Yeah.
We've done, what is it? Like gigs, podcasts, single releases.
You've started in, you've launched your business.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of gigs this year.
I've done a lot of gigs. Well, between us, I think.
Yeah, well, you've done really well. You've done really well.
Yeah, I did. I have to say, I did get a lot of, especially mariachi shows this year.
I remember last year when we were having a chat, it was like everyone was like low on gigs, and everyone was like, "Oh, it would be good to have more gigs." Yeah. Then all of a sudden this year, it's gone.
Yeah, for everyone, really. We've all benefited.
I sort of refrained from doing a lot of shows. Did a few, but that was it. Yeah. But I was getting prepared. Yeah, I was getting prepared for something else, which is my production business. So, but you've gone berserk with kids.
Yeah, maybe a bit too berserk. I cut back definitely with I guess my solo stuff, but I don't know if I really wanted to cut back on that one actually.
You know what? The fact that you're saying you've cut back on stuff is that I think that might be a positive thing. Yeah. Because that means you're getting work, you're doing something, right?
Yeah, that's true. And just time to regroup, recharge, write some new music.
This is definitely the time for it. Everything ramping down, or for some people it ramps up with Christmas parties and, and corporate gigs as well. Corporates, people who are doing corporates at the moment, they're getting a lot of gigs. So, but yeah, what a year!
You've released quite a few singles this year too.
Yeah, I have. I've released
I've
released a few singles, and I've released an album this year as well. So it's been really good. Yeah,
it's been great. It's been getting a lot of play on PBS.
It's been good. It's been really good. It's been really really good for the soul. It feels really good when you've achieved something like that, when you've recorded. Like, I know even when you do a gig, it's an achievement. But it's you go and do the gig, then you the next one, then it's the next one. But with a recording, it's like you've spent all this time, and then it gets released, and you think it's done.
Yes,
and
right.
There's a bit of relief there. But on saying that, we just released a single the other day. With my new project.
Crossover. Yeah, I love the name.
That's a good name, huh?
How did you come up with the name? Because I know you were pondering over.
Oh, yeah. I was pondering over it for a while. Yeah. And it was like, what sort of word can I use to entail the mixture of genres, of two genres, being, progressive metal and flamenco. And what happens when you go from one to the other? I thought, mate, you cross over to the next realm. So that's how I really come up with it. And that's exactly what it means. It means you're crossing over from one to the other. So, but I love that track. I really enjoyed recording it. Took me on a journey, and I loved the fact that I had two of my mates who have been in metal for years and years and years, and they've come back. And that's why we called this single Resurrection, because I've come back.
Come back from
wherever it was.
Yeah, from wherever they went for a while.
Yeah.
From hibernation.
Yeah, from hibernation. But they played awesomely on it. It was such a great project to be a part of, and collaboration is fantastic. Especially with the right people. It can be such a satisfying thing. And everything just fell into place from the word go, from the composition all the way to the mastering. Everything just sort of went really flow, really nice, and it's out there on all the streaming platform. Resurrection by Crossover.
I'm going to listen to it on my way home.
Listen to it.
Crank it up.
My wife loves that track. She listens to it all the time. I reckon she thinks that it's probably the best thing I've released.
Wow, and that's saying a lot. She's got very good taste in
She's
music.
got very good taste.
Yeah.
But she loves it. I didn't think of her as a big metal fan, but I think she is secretly.
Yeah, I think we're secretly all into metal.
I know, I think so.
I think there's a little bit of metal. Oh, that could be taken. I was thinking of food, as I said. A little bit of metal in everything we listen to and eat. No.
Yeah. I think you're right. But it's there was such an easy transition because in the realm of metal, you have a lot. There's a lot of chords that can be used, and a lot of riffs that can be used from flamenco into that actually going quite well, and they handle quite well into metal, from flamenco into metal. Those riffs and some of the chords, and they sat really well, especially in progressive metal where things are a bit more technical. Metal, you got your thrash and you got your heavy metal and your trash. You got your thrash. You got all sorts of metal genres.
Yeah.
But progressive metal being very technical, this is where we sort of like where I've always loved it. So I thought, you know what, if we're going to go down this path, I'm going to make sure that we do both genres justice. So I think we've done that. I think we've done it really well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard the final.
You had
the
iterations
final project
of it.
I've heard. Yeah, so I'm really excited to hear it in its final form.
It's something that I don't, even though sometimes, well, a lot of the times when I record something, I get sick of listening to it through the process of the recording and the mixing and mastering. I get sick of listening to some of the stuff. This one I didn't get sick of.
Well, that's saying a lot as well. Yeah.
And it's like there's a lot of dynamic tension in there, and there's it's like a journey. There's ups and downs. It's a great track. Not that it's our track with crossover, but it's just a great track to listen to. And the way I did it was the guys that are with me, they've been in that game for a long time, and they know their history of metal, and they know all the bands, your Slayers, your Exodus, and your your Megadeths and stuff like that. And every step of the way I was asking them, is this how it's supposed to, I know what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've been listening to it a lot, but I want to from their point of view, because they're older than me, right? And they know more than me. So, and I was asking, is this how it is? Is this how it's supposed to sound? And when they came in to record, I can see that they were excited and they were enjoying it. And I thought, I think we're hitting the spot. So it's very important to get that feedback if you're going to go into a different realm from people who actually know the genre.
Yeah, you want to do it justice, or like you said, both genres justice, which you've
yeah.
definitely done from what I've heard of it.
Yeah, and I think we have we've succeeded in that realm, and that gives you a bit more of a drive to delve into other genres.
Yeah, it's really it's really fun.
It is fun.
It's so much fun, and even just seeing you release monthly singles, all completely different genres, it's inspiring. And you've managed to keep the elements of flamenco in there, which I love that.
But in the next one, I don't want to. I don't want to really do flamenco. I want to actually play the electric guitar in one that I've got coming up.
Yeah.
And I want to actually immerse myself into that genre that I'm going to be recording. Not putting a flamenco influence in, but doing it as a genre. And I think that's going to help me later as well. But I do want to fuse together those genres. But it's such a fun time for me musically now. It's not for the time being. It's not about being stuck to one genre, or I'm recording this, or I want to record that. It's about exploration for me now. It's about exploring what can I do.
Yeah, I feel like especially since we recently did the gig at the Lomond. The Lomond? That's how you say? Oh, I never know how to say it. Lowy, I'll just say Lowy. And it's really inspired me to really expand my knowledge on improvising and on flamenco music and on jazz, on everything else, because we played a few different.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, it's
when
really
you're playing,
fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awesomely fun, and you killed it. You smashed it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, likewise. You were manning not only the guitar, you were in charge of all
the rest of the group.
The entire orchestra.
Yeah, they were behind the blind. They were behind the curtain. But there's something to say about that, and about that gig, and I love the energy that we both have, and we. It's such an easy gig to do when you're with someone who you're sharing that energy, and things just flow, and the sets all of a sudden they're quick. The sets go quick.
Yeah, you're like, wow, we've already played 6 songs. Yeah.
But I think the major takeaway from there was the crowd loved it.
Yeah, I don't think we both realized that they didn't expect what we gave them. And I guess it was our first performance as a duo as well. So I guess we came in prepared and everything, but we also didn't know how it was going to come across to everyone else.
Well, wasn't the point we would be prepared, but half of it would be improv, so we didn't have expectations, and I think that's the best way.
Well, I'm still learning from that because I still find myself going into expectation land, but that gig was great for me. I just went, all right, you're going to just enjoy this and just trust that you have the knowledge internally to.
And I think what helped us there, we did have some structured pieces.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Like half of it was structured and the other half was improv. So the balance was there where you'd bit the structure and then the next track you're thinking, oh, okay, now it's going to be, there's a lot of improv here.
That's a good point. It helped me to feel more relaxed actually because you're like, oh yeah, I know this song, and then
likewise.
And then a warm up.
Yeah.
And then into the improv.
I think that's such an important thing, especially for the first track. I think if there's an improv and a warm up, I think that's going to set your tone or your expectation, not expectation, but the way you feel on stage. Like I always, with me, the most comfortable thing to do for the first track is to do improv.
Yeah, and we did. I think we did the C minor one.
Yeah,
I remember
the bolero,
feeling comfortable about it. It was like a little easy, because it was a softer track as well.
And how good was it when that finished and you're prepared now for the next track? Because the next track had a bit of structure.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, it was a nice mix of nice mix of people.
Yeah, it was. It was a great mix of people.
Yeah.
And that is so important.
Yeah.
That's so important. But hopefully we have many more gigs to come. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it
me
was
too.
Such a different dynamic, such a different realm, and really, really laid back on stage. It was like, all right.
It was really chill.
It was really chill. That's when you play the best.
Oh, definitely.
It's like when you're uptight and you think, and you're set in the first track might be a big one. It's like, and then you get tired from that, and then it's like, but the first track being just a nice little improv, that whole piece that I did like before that track was all improv, all so good.
Yeah.
And there's no expectation. If you do a mistake, you do a mistake. Like,
and half the people don't know anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless you make a face, which I need to work on. I do make faces when I make.
I think we all make faces. That's just the
face.
That's just the natural progression of a musician, even when you're shredding.
Oh yeah. I do like watching jazz musicians though. I love how they're like.
I've seen some musicians who have no face at all.
Yeah.
Even that's interesting.
Yeah.
And they're shredding. It's just like, I don't know, but they're feeling it on the inside.
Yeah.
But it was such a good gig. It was, the sound was good.
Yeah, great sound. Makes it makes or breaks the gig in a lot of ways.
Correct. It was
credit to
Brian at Lemon. Shout out there. But hopefully there's many more to come. We've got a gig in January, and you've got a gig in January. You're also releasing your single on the 7th of January.
Yeah, and I guess that's a crossover songs. It's a remix of a song I did with the Bois.
That's right, it's a remix.
Yeah, it's a remix.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's very. I was laughing at. I had to create a poster for it recently, and I didn't know how to create the poster because it's a blend of some Bob's opening up, Bob Hutchinson's opening
that's
up
right.
with folk. And then I'm doing, I don't even know what my style is. I guess ambient, worldly. And then Alex is going to bring it in with like, doom, doom.
That's so good though.
Yeah.
But I know where you're confused about the poster.
Yeah, I managed to to somehow, I mean, it looks a bit more folky, but I mean, the majority of it is folk chill vibes. Yeah, but I found that quite cool and
nice
hilarious.
Pastel colours.
Yeah. Because the first design was very, it was more electronic.
Yeah.
Like it was more spacey. Then I went, wait a minute,
more,
that's for
more
one
Alex
song.
Kundalini style.
Yeah, but then I was like, it was a great poster. I'll use it for another event, but it would only have worked for the one song.
Yeah. But look, it just goes to show it's not about thinking about only about the track that you're recording. It's about thinking about the promotion afterwards. How are you going to do the poster? How are you going to do this? How
I
you going to do that?
I forgot about all that stuff. I mean, you've been doing that for the whole year. You've been coordinating everything. I don't know how you do it. I mean, a lot of patience.
Sometimes.
Are you sure there's not two of you?
Yeah. God knows how many there are in here. There's a lot.
That's another topic.
That's another topic. And that probably requires someone with professional opinions.
But yeah, we've got the Ringo Bar gig at the end of Jan.
We're on the 28th, which I'm looking forward to. I'm already getting people who said they couldn't come to the Le Monde gig, and they said we're going to come to the one in January.
Fantastic.
So I think that's the December period is a bit like that. People
we're all busy.
Yeah, and people are getting off work and they're laying back, and whether they want to go to a gig or not is a different story, and some people are going away. But I think the 28th, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really looking forward to it. But I just wanted to say on a sort of slightly different topic, thanks so much for being my host this year.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
No, it's been a pleasure for me. It's been a really good dynamics, really good thing, especially when people come, they sense that, they're in a comfortable place, they want to talk about what they want to talk.
They're quite comfortable.
Yeah. And I think we bring that.
Yeah, I think it's also being, I mean, I don't know, the vibes in this house are quite this studio.
Yes, it's quite intimate and quite comfortable and
relaxed. We're pretty relaxed people. So yeah.
I mean, I had second thoughts about doing the podcast at the start of this year, and whether I should continue, whether I shouldn't continue, and this, that. And then when I made the decision to actually go ahead and do it, I said to myself, well, it'll be good to have another person. And then you popped up in my head straight away.
Yeah.
We are so different. We have a lot of things in common. So I thought, I think it'll be a great, a great thing to have that chemistry, And then people actually feed from us as well.
Yeah, we bring, like you said, we're both different in, I guess, our approach and how we communicate and things like that. But there are a lot of similarities as well, like in terms of values. I think we share very similar values.
Definitely.
Yes.
And that's very important, especially when you're working together,
Yeah.
Like we know this podcast where our goal is to help, all the musicians and give as much as help as we can. But I think we're helping ourselves too.
Definitely. I've definitely felt a lot of growth. Just for me, mainly having the more confidence to actually have a conversation and not have a script in front of me as well.
I've seen you grow throughout this whole, this year of doing the podcast. It's very laid back and there's no scripts and everything like that, but it's not that easy.
No, and you've really got it down to a T. Like with all the experience, I've learned so much from you. Just having you looking at how your style as well.
Thanks.
How it's been great. Yeah.
Look, that's the whole point of it, and it's about being just genuine.
Yeah. Being interested.
That's right. Helps too. And I think we're the same sitting here in front of the camera on this podcast as sitting with someone else on a normal day.
Yeah, we don't want to pretend.
No.
It takes effort. No,
it takes effort. Yeah, it does.
And it comes across as a bit.
But the guests also enjoy it. I think some guests when they come here and they come on the podcast for the first time, I think they've got a different outlook and they're a bit nervous and a bit reserved. But as soon as they sit down and they, it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the word interview.
That's why I don't usually use the word interview. I just say,
conversation.
Come on for a chat. It's music chat, chit chat. Just come on for a chat. I spoke with a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and he goes, "What am I going to talk about?" Okay, it's not about what you're going to talk about. It's that what are we going to talk about? Once you start, there's something there, and then he started talking to me about because he does the wedding circuit and about this, about that. Okay, well, there you go. That's the whole episode right there.
Yeah,
it's not an interview. We're not going to ask questions. We're going to have a conversation. It's about two-way conversation.
You kind of open up with an open question, and then that'll automatically. All you need is that first question, and then that just flows
chain
into
reaction.
Yeah.
And then it's something. Some things I ask because I really want to know.
Yeah, definitely.
If I really want to know how and what, that's the whole development part, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just feel good doing these podcasts.
Oh, it's really, really fun, and it's like you said, it's really great to meet. We've met some really interesting people.
Sure did.
Yeah, and and I love the idea of the panels as well. Like how we had the first panel earlier, and we want to get another panel in.
We'll do it
next year at some point.
Next year for sure. And being the 42nd episode now, that's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
I think especially for the area that we're doing music and everything like that, it's and doing it at the level where we're not these major celebrities or artists that we want to support the local independent artists and people who are going through the same thing that we're going through in the same industry, and this is where the reality kicks in. And this is where we have those conversations. I'm sure that both of us have the same intentions for all musicians. It's for everyone to succeed.
Yep. Exactly.
Including this podcast.
Yeah, and it also gives again, we too often go to a gig and we see someone perform, but we don't actually know anything about the musician themselves.
Correct.
And there's not enough time, and a lot of us are quite modest as musicians and shy.
Yep.
And we express what we're feeling through the music. So this is a way to learn more about your favorite musicians or local artists as well. And just about their story and how they got into it. And it's just a nice way to...
And the story is quite important.
Yeah.
The story, the journey, that's why they're there. It's because of something.
Yeah.
It's because of that story. That's why we're all here. It's because of something that's either happened or is continually happening or for someone it's a soul-searching experience. For someone else, it's a form of work. For others, it's something that I've just stepped into.
Yeah.
Music's such a great thing to have in your life, and I think without it, life will be miserable.
Oh, we need it. Yeah.
I think we're blessed to be musicians. I think we are.
Feeling very grateful.
Yeah, very grateful. And I can't help but notice, but all like a lot of the people that come in, they're really on that same energy level and same frequency sort of thing that like we are, and I think we're attracting those people, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
And we just feel much better after
podcast. Yeah, we don't feel drained. Like no, that's such a good point. There, we feel I always feel inspired and
same.
And I always learn. Well, we always learn something new in each episode.
Correct.
With each person. Yeah.
So true. And you know what the other thing is? After each recording of the podcast, and this is obviously this episode is dedicated to this podcast being the last one, but after every podcast, I feel inspired to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get my instrument and play or record. Because you get inspiration from these people and from yourself. I get, that energy, that inspiration from yourself. I think I'm just going to go and record. It just brings that that energy.
Flow.
Yeah, the flow. Finessing the flow. But that is so important, and that says something when someone inspires you, and that's a great thing. And to inspire others, that's an even better thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think we've done it with this podcast too. I think you and I have inspired a lot of people who have come on this podcast. Some people might know it, some people might not. But it's such a great thing, and I think. No, I don't think I know I'm a better person for doing this podcast and getting to meet all these people and working with yourself. It's great. And now we've gone to the other realm where we're gigging.
Yeah.
Such a good thing. Such a good thing to get along, musically and be on that same wavelength and bringing all these good things together. And it's just such a great thing. Such a great thing.
Concoction of goodness.
So true. So true. You're heading off to Perth?
Yes. Oh, I said that with a little bit of disappointment there. No, Perth is beautiful. Perth is beautiful.
You are a Perth girl, so.
I mean, that's debatable.
From your origins, sort of.
I mean, Margaret River's nice. Not a huge fan of the city, but countryside's beautiful.
Well, I've never been to Perth. I'd like to go one day, but I heard
check out the beaches. There you go. The beaches are the best. Yeah. They're really beautiful. Yeah.
I heard it's a place to retire.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
But once again, thanks so much, Amla. Thanks you for everything.
Thanks for a great year.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. It's been really good. Wishing you all the very best for the festive season and the new year.
Yeah, likewise.
And hopefully we do have a lot more gigs and we release a lot more music and we're creative double the amount than this year.
Yep.
And hopefully this podcast continues to do its thing and
reaches more people and
more support towards music here in Australia, particularly in Melbourne. Towards the indie artists and everyone, all the artists that are giving it a crack.
Yep.
Including ourselves.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The sponsors, and we want to thanks the sponsors all year round. Cake Eclipse. This has got some coconut and some walnut in there, with a bit of chocolate. Very nice, very nice. And also musicproservices.com for all your music services needs.
Which I will be using very soon.
You will be experiencing
the
great service of music services, musicproservices.com.
And on that note, enjoy the rest of your year, everyone.
Yes, everyone. All the very best for the New Year's. And until next time.
Yes.
Ciao. Chord podcast, presented to you by ValentinoFlamenco.com and AmlaMusic.com.